Yeah, yeah.
It's your girl Maya back with another video, and today I'm about to be doing a labor and delivery story time. But if I'm quiet, that's because my daughter's in the background sleep, so I'm trying not to wake her up or she get mad. But I'm gonna do a story time on my labor, and yeah. So basically, before I went into labor, let me think. I don't even remember the day. But all I know was I was in labor for 2.5 days. So 2.5 days later, well, before I went into labor, actually, I stayed at her father's house and I spent the night. I was like 38 weeks pregnant, and that day we had went to an appointment for her, check up on her heartbeat and stuff like that. And I was talking to my doctor about getting induced because, like, I was so big, y'all. I was so big when I was pregnant. Like, I was really, really big. And I had a big swollen patch at the bottom of my stomach that itched really bad and felt uncomfortable and stuff. So she was just like, when you turn 39 weeks, you can get induced. So basically, I was supposed to get induced the week after. The week the week after that appointment. So I went back to his house and I spent the night over there. His mom had went to work and it was just me and him. We was just like watching movies and this and that, whatever. So all of a sudden, I don't know why we didn't go to sleep. Usually we'll go to sleep around like 11, 12. It just depends. But now I don't get no sleep, period. But we had stayed up and it was like probably like 2 in the morning. No, actually it was 1 in the morning because I started to have mild pains, but it was like every minute I had the pain, like it did not go away. So I told him about it, and then I was just like, he was just like, should we go to the hospital? I'm like, no, let's just wait because I don't want it to be false. And then we go to the hospital and can't nobody pick us up from the hospital, whatever. So I just waited probably like another hour, which I shouldn't have did it because it was like pain after pain after pain, and it started to hurt bad, y'all. But it was just like every minute. So I texted my cousin that is a nurse and I asked her like, can Braxton Hicks be every minute, and she told me yeah. So I'm thinking he's probably just Braxton Hicks. I'm not gonna waste my time. So I tried to just walk around, lay down, sit down, and the pain would not go away. So I'm really thinking I'm in labor because I'm like, nah, ain't no way it's just sticking like this. So, oh my gosh, she probably gonna wake up. But, so, we called the ambulance and they actually came to get me and hurried up and rushed me to the hospital or whatnot. It was weird because the pain actually stopped. So I thought, I was like, oh my God, like what if I'm not in labor? You know what I'm saying? He was asking me like my name. They had put an IV right here. It was right here. They put it on me in the ambulance truck. And for the whole 2.5 days, it stayed up in there. Like, it was so stressful, y'all. But when we got to the hospital, the pain started back again when I got in the room. And I'm just like, this is not bad. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad pain, whatever. I'm like, dang, my mom told me something about contractions. Like, they hurt bad and she was just hesitating, whatever. But, y'all, when I tell y'all them contractions hits, my God, worst pain of my life. Like, worst pain of my life. So I got in the hospital bed and I'm asking her like, am I in labor? Like, what's going on? I gotta call my mom. I gotta call somebody. Meanwhile, my baby's father was talking to his mom, telling his mom what was happening, whatever, keeping her updated. But my mom didn't really know nothing because my phone was actually, it was dead. Yeah, it was actually dead, and I didn't have a charger. He didn't have a charger neither. So, he was talking to his mom, and she was like, keep me updated. And then later on down the line, he told his mom that I was in the hospital, probably in labor. So the nurse actually put this band thing around me that it's one that does her heartbeat, and it's one that counts how far apart your contractions is, I guess. And my contractions was like they was going, and some of the contractions I couldn't feel. And the nurse came back up and they're like, dang, that was a big contraction. Da, da, da. I'm like, she was like, yeah, you're probably in labor. She's like, we're gonna call your doctor, see what she got to say. So basically my doctor was like, you know, we're just gonna let you have your baby. You know, like, I was in labor, but my daughter was being stubborn. So it's like if I would have went home, my daughter probably would have stayed up in there for another 2 days, which she did. But I had to stay in the hospital for them whole 2 days. Basically, the pain started really, really bad. The first day I was in the hospital, it just got terrible, like really, really terrible, to where I started crying. Like, the contractions never, ever, ever stopped. Like, it felt like I was never going to be relieved. I was never going to sleep. Like, the pain just never stopped. And so what they did was, my baby's father actually went to go tell the nurse, and they came back and gave me something in my IV that made me feel like real high. So basically the pain went away for probably like an hour or two. He had actually stayed that day because it was already like 3-4 in the morning. So he actually stayed the night with me, and the next day, the next following day, he went home that night. And he actually was working, so he had to call off of work for like a week because we was having the baby, whatever. And the next day, they actually was trying to get my baby to hurry up and come. They put this balloon thing in me that was supposed to open my cervix. So when they took it out, basically I went to 6 centimeters dilated. Because I was not dilating at all. Like, my water broke, but I was not dilating because they broke my water. So when that balloon thing came out, I was 6 centimeters, and then I was just like, oh my God, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 centimeters left, and I will be pushing. You can actually push at 9 also. I think that's what I did. I pushed at 9, but I don't really remember. So this is like the next day over that. This is the day that I actually went in, like, not went into labor. I'm already in labor, duh. This is the day I pushed my daughter out. So basically I pushed my daughter out around like 7. That whole day they just would give me like Jello trays and little stuff like that, and I wouldn't eat. I didn't eat for like 2.5 days. Like, I was in labor. I did not eat because I'm like, nah. My baby's father actually made me eat something because he like, you already can't, you know what I'm saying, eat nothing, so you might as well just eat this. I wasn't like, I'm a real bad ice craver. Like, I crave ice a lot, and I wouldn't even eat ice. Like, I was so exhausted. I was weak. It was just crazy. So when it was time, they was just like, do you want to start pushing? I'm like, huh? Like, do I want to start what? Like, So basically I pushed for about like 10 minutes, and I was like, no, I can't do this no more. And she like, well, we'll give you a few more minutes, and then you have to push. Like, you can't stop, you have to push. So I took them 10 minutes, and I'm just thinking, like, am I really finna push a baby out? Am I really finna see my daughter after 9 months of me wanting to see what my daughter look like? I finally get to see my daughter today in 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just sitting there, and he was like, my baby's father was actually, I think he was kind of upset. I don't know that I ain't pushed, but when I started pushing again, I really didn't stop. Like, I got really weak. I would do this, like, you know, they told me not to do that. They was like, you know, just breathe, let it out, you know what I'm saying? So as I was pushing, I just It took me an hour straight, an hour even, to push my daughter out. It really didn't feel like an hour. It actually felt like 10, 20 minutes to me. But I was really weak in the arms because when you push, you have to hold on to something and then go up, you know, unless you have a C-section. But my doctor actually told me that I probably was going to have a C-section. I was like, no, like, she was like, she'll try her best to let me do it vaginal. So I was actually happy that I got to do natural birth. I did not want to get surgery or nothing like that, but when I pushed my daughter out, she was 20 inches long, 7 pounds and 14 ounces. But it's weird because she did not look 7 pounds and 14 ounces. Honestly, my daughter looked probably like 6 pounds, 5 pounds. Literally, like, she looked bigger through her pictures, but in person, she was really, really small. And honestly, when I pushed her out, I got the epidural, y'all. And it really did not feel like I had it. Like, I still felt contractions and pain in my hips, y'all. Like, I felt it all in my hips. It was the worst pain of my life. Like, I just wanted it all to be over with. But you think contractions and stuff is pain. Watch after you push out your baby and probably like a couple hours or a day later, that pain is worse, literally. Like, after the 2.5 days that I was in labor, when I pushed my daughter out, I actually stayed in the hospital for 2 more days. So it was like, I just felt like I was living in the hospital at this point. Like, they actually let my baby's father stay with me for 1 day, and then he left the next day. And it was kind of hard on me because I actually got stitches. I tore with my daughter, and it was hard for me to walk. Like, it was really hard for me to walk. My body was really sore. I just didn't have no strength. Like, when I first pushed out my daughter, I could barely hold my daughter. Like, of course I was holding her there because, like, the nurse was next to me. Jakai was next to me. So it's like, they wouldn't have let me drop her or nothing. But when we got to the room that I was assigned to, I couldn't hold my daughter. I didn't have no strength in my arms. It took me probably like 5 minutes to get to the bathroom, and literally my bed in the bathroom was like literally right there. Like, it was just really hard for me. Like, they had me do a bounce on this ball. They had me walking. Like, my daughter would not come. She was being stubborn. Like, I was hoping that she would come probably like that morning or at least the next day. Like, it literally took her 2.5 days to come. I was just really exhausted. But my experience with the hospital, it was a really good experience. Like, if I can go back, I would. Even though I was in so much pain, I cherish that experience because it's like I really pushed out my daughter. I really got to, you know, spend that time with my daughter. You know, I got to experience something like that. And people say how, like, when you're young, you know, you shouldn't have babies. They ruin your life. Honestly, my daughter saved my life. My daughter made my life better. Like, I love my daughter to pieces, you know. And if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be doing as good as I am now. And, you know, I don't think personally babies ruin teenagers' lives. I think a teenager will ruin their own life depending on what route they go down after having a baby. And it was just really a good experience to me. The hospital, it's a nice hospital. It was a nice room. They made me feel comfortable. I called the nurses and they came right to me. They helped me out, you know. I told them I was in pain. They helped me. They just really was really big helps. It was a really good experience for me. But after I got out of the hospital, I actually went to my baby's father's house for probably like a week. Yeah, I went over there for like a week because I really see my mom. She just had a baby recently also. So it's like she has her newborn plus my little sister and my little brother. So it's like I didn't want to come home and throw my responsibilities on my mom. So I just went over his house for like a week to get extra help. It was so bad to where I could barely sit on the toilet without everything hurting. I could barely lay down. I couldn't get comfortable. I was in pain probably every other minute. Ibuprofen really did not work like that. Like, I had to put ice packs and just use a whole bunch of ice packs. Like, I was in so much pain, y'all. Like, having a baby is a lot. Like, especially, like, having to walk around in a big diaper, y'all. Like, nobody ever noticed mine because I don't know. But walking around in a diaper or having to use a, like, when you get out the hospital, they give you probably a pad like this big, probably that wide. Not even gonna lie. And you have to wear them. Like, I would recommend you wearing what the hospital gives you. Don't wear a regular old pad because, no. But honestly, like I said, my labor was a beautiful experience, but it was also tough on me. I feel like I wouldn't have been as weak, or my strength. It actually took my strength probably like a few weeks to come back. Like, I still get pains and back pains and, you know, weak in the arms and stuff. Like, I would go to the clinic with my daughter and hold her car seat and I get weak in the arms. Like, I'm still recovering from my pregnancy. My daughter is currently a month old, going on 2 months this month on the 9th. So yeah, but yeah, that is basically it. Honestly, to the girls out there that's having a baby, I would say cherish their experience while it's there, because it only comes once with that specific child. I can't go back and replay, you know, my daughter coming out and the experience. The worst thing about it was probably the pain that I went through. And I thought when I got the epidural that it was just gonna go away. Actually, it went away for about 2 hours, probably 2-3 hours. And I finally got to sleep. I was just really exhausted because when I didn't have the epidural, I could not sleep, y'all. But when I got it, I could sleep, and then I woke up and I felt pain, like, in my hips so bad. And I asked the nurse, like, I thought epidural numbed all this. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of getting it. But when I got my stitches, I felt them a little bit. When my daughter's head was coming out, I actually felt that. But yeah, honestly, my experience was good. The pain was bad. The afters was bad. It took my stitches probably a month to heal. I'm finally feeling like myself again, but I still, you know, have pain and stuff like that. Just around like my back and my hips, my arms sometimes. And honestly, to the pregnant girls out there, I would say, you know, watch out for postpartum depression. It is real. That's not a joke, you know. But yeah, like, with the coronavirus going on, I hope everybody stays safe. I hope every pregnant female has a good experience with their child and have a safe pregnancy. And I just thank God that I had a safe pregnancy with my daughter. But yeah, that is my labor and delivery story time video. If y'all would like me to do any other videos like Q&As, mornings with my daughter, nights with my daughter, like routines, whatever. Me and my daughter really don't have a routine, but we could just do what we do at night, I guess, or what we're gonna be doing that night specifically. But y'all could comment down below what y'all want to see next. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.